everyone, this is Elena, and I'm back today with another card video for you. This time I'm playing along with the Casual Fridays Challenge CFC152, and the challenge is tic-tac-toe, so I'm using monochromatic, sequins, and MNL dots. So I'm starting with the Curtis background, and I'm going to use, along with the Curtis background, I'm using the Truth Is stamp set. So since I'm using the Misty, to stamp my card, I'm going to do multiple cards, so I have on hand, because the sentiment I'll be using, it's pretty great. I love it. It's one of my favorite sentiments, so I like to give those cards out. So I'm starting with the background, and I'm positioning the background in my Misty, and picking it up with the lid of the Misty. So I'm just kind of making sure that paper is back on, and I'm gonna stamp onto the grid paper as a guide. So I'm just gonna speed up a little bit here. So I stamp on the back. I'm gonna fix my paper again and then position my cardstock. I'm using Pool Party cardstock from Stampin' Up, and I'm using Soft Pool ink from Hero Arts. So the good thing of the Misty is that you can go over and restamp your background a few times to get solid image and good impression. So that's what I'm doing here. So that's done here. And I'm going back to my not back, but I'm stamping my second background now. And again, you see that impression, it's not completely clean. So I'm going over again and restamping that over to get a very nice solid impression. So I'm just repeating the process for each single background. So you notice that on the side I have a little bit unstamped part, but that will fall off when, that will be cut out, not really fall off, when I cut my background. So this is the last one, and in meantime I'm leaving those to dry. So because I'll do some embossing with white embossing powder, and I don't want that white powder to stick onto the wet background. So in meantime I let those dry, and now I have positioned my images from Truth Is stamp set, and I notice that I can do it with the mini Misty, so I'm transferring everything in the original Misty. And I have that mask over the top that I use to position my stamps, because that's from the die cut I'm using for that rectangular die cut image. So I'm just securing everything with the magnets and positioning my image and the sentiment. And the sentiment says "You're pretty amazing," which is one of my favorite sentiment, and the font is awesome too. So next I'll just go over with my powder tool, embossing tool, over my image, and then using Versamark I'm going to stamp the images onto the background. So I'll do the same for every for all 4 cards. And the next step will be to emboss them with white embossing powder. So you notice that I turn it around, so making sure that that empty spot that unstamped into the same side, so I have the same kind of background, same panel every time for every single card that I'm making. So we have that one too. So next will be the embossing. So I'm just using Ranger craft mat, and I'm just gonna apply embossing powder to the whole panel and kind of flick the rest. And I'm using a paintbrush to kind of remove the extra speckles of the white embossing powder. So that's that. Next I'm going to use my heat gun to melt that embossing powder. So you can see how it turns whiter. So that's done. So now I have all of them done, and now I'm coloring. I'm using Luminance Current Dash pencil, and I'm coloring in the flower. I'm going to do the same for every single panel that I stamped. So this is very soft pencil, and it comes from a set of 72. I'm not sure, you may be able to buy it separately, but it's very good for coloring in on cardstock, and the color is very kind of solid. And next I'm going with a white gel pen. I'm adding additional details on the bottom, not the bottom, the kind of the center of the flower. So I have that, I have those die cut, and next I'm going with white Wink of Stella glitter pen to add some glitter. And I'm repeating the same process for all of the flowers. So this one is upside down, but it doesn't really matter when you're coloring something. So I have all of those. Next I'm going with clear Spectrum Noir glitter pen, sparkle pen. And I'm doing pretty much the same thing, so to add a little bit of extra shimmer. So now I have all of them done. Next will be, I'm just removing the extra paper, like shavings on from the die cutting. So next I'm using mounting tape to give a little bit more dimension to the card, and I'm gonna adhere all these panels onto the card front. So I have here the monochromatic look, and the next step is to add M&L dots and sequins. So I'm using the Nuvo Crystal white crystal liquid M&L dots, and adding those and letting them dry. And then in the next step I'll add position and adhere the sequins down to my cards. So I'm just adding those around. So I'm trying to position everyone on the same place, kind of to make my cards the same. They're a little bit different shades of pool, but that doesn't really matter. So next I'm using the Pico Embellisher. I have transferred it in a different bottle, and I'm adhering those sequins down. So that kind of completes my 3 parts from the tic-tac-toe challenge: monochromatic, sequins, and M&L dots. So then I'm adding, I decided at the end to add little, like those tiny sequins too, for extra detail. So then I'm going to the second card and pretty much doing the same thing. As well, you can use tweezers to do those. So here's my card. Here's the dimension, like all the sequins and all the white on the flowers. Thanks for watching, and see you soon in another video. Bye!